Alright, time for a Future Car Buddyfight, episode 25, i.e., why was it an hour and a half late getting up?
Yeah.
But whatever, it was a good episode, so I forgive it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should just jump right into it, but first I want to say, my god, this episode has so many good reaction images. It just, non-stop, just things.
Oh, yeah. Like, I remember we just had to keep on going,
And also a new opening and ending.
Which is great. New opening, though, does not mesh with the old song.
Yeah, I want to believe that they just couldn't get the people to make a new opening, English version.
Yeah. So...
You know how Bushiroad likes to do that.
It looks like a really bad music video right now.
But it's fine, because the ending one is just the bestest.
It is. So yeah, it starts out with, everyone at Gao's house still talking about, Kiri gone missing, and, Baku calls one of the girls bro.
He does that a lot. I think he just lost the ability to call people anything but bro.
Yeah. So then Gao's like, they're like, oh man, you went to Sengoku Academy, and they're like, Gao's like, yeah, Sengoku Academy. Let me tell you all about it. And they're like, everyone leans in close, and he goes, actually, I don't know anything. And everyone falls over. Because he's an asshole.
He's just a lying sack of crap. What do you expect from him?
Yeah, but then Paruko's like, don't worry. I did a history essay on this. And she has this big PowerPoint explaining everything, and about how they solve everything with buddy fights. No matter what it is, everything's buddy fights. Even going to the bathroom.
Who goes to the bathroom first? Get her buddy fight for it.
And also, apparently their campus is full of wild animals.
Yep, including elephants.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to need a freaking elephant to fight with a card game.
What's that Simpsons joke about getting that the winter will just kill off the gorillas?
That's the gorillas, yeah. Well, I don't think that applies to this, but whatever.
Yeah, so then, everyone's like, well, we better go! And Asmodee's like, we better go in the morning. It's kind of scary at night. So then they're like, fine. And
yeah, Kiri can wait.
Kiri can wait.
What has he done for us lately?
So yeah, also Tetsuya was adorable in this episode. Fell asleep on Asmodee's leg. Stop being so cute. So then I love it, and it shows the morning, and goes like, everyone came!
Everyone came! I expected only about half of you, really.
I love how he said everyone came when Jin and No Eyes are obviously not there.
Well, you see, they're never there anymore.
So then, they're like, oh, Kazane, you're coming with too? She's like, yeah! I totally want to go to a new school where everyone buddies fights, and I can make friends with the animals! And Paruko and Drum are like, this chick's really weird. And then the Bladewing Phoenix is just like, do you disapprove? How dare you?
Yep, and there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Deformed.
Super cheap.
Super deformed.
Yeah, super deformed.
Moments in this episode.
It was great. So then, they're like, so how are we gonna get there? Yeah, we don't have a car. None of us can drive. Well,
wait, we just use our buddy skills. Oh wait, Gao doesn't have one. Drum.
Yeah, but then, Lady Suzuha in her giant blimp home to the rescue with her flying butler.
Her, not flying, but her rocket-powered butler. We went over this.
Yeah, it's just too good.
You have to have your goat butlers fly.
With cakes.
Yes, holding cakes.
So then, Suzuha's like, I heard that you were in trouble, so I came to help. And Gao's like, oh, that's great.
That's great.
You're awesome no matter what anyone says.
I don't care what anyone else says about you. You're great. Thanks, I guess.
Yeah, that was great. And she's like, so where do you need to go? And he's like, oh, we need to go Sengoku. And she's like, Sengoku? Oh!
Yeah, she just... she must have really been freaked out by the prospect. Because she is bedridden.
And they
steal her ship.
Stole her house.
They didn't technically steal it, but it's funnier when you think that they just kind of took it when she passed out.
She passed out, Mugger house. So then, they leave Lady Suzuha behind. Her butler and her maids wave goodbye. And, So then they're on the boat. Everyone's not the boat, the ship.
The flying ship while Osmodite pilots, because apparently he can do that.
Yeah, he's so cool. He can do just about anything.
Except for open a door. Remember when they needed him to do that?
Yeah, and not even 100 demons could open this door. But so then Wind moonwalks over to Zanya and asks him, "Hey, you want a buddy?" Kazane, thank you.
Hey, want a Buddyfight or something? It's like, it looks like she's about ready to start some trouble.
Yeah, and he's just like, "I'm sorry, I can't, girls."
He's like, "Yo, you want a tussle?"
Yeah, so then it finally shows us the shadowy evilness of our villains. And they're assembled. And one of them sends their buddy, who is a bird from Katana World. He's basically a Tengu.
Yeah,
but
Yamagarasu.
The servants of the Tengus, the ones that have the birds'
faces.
faces.
Yamagarasu, I believe his name was.
Yeah, thank you.
Something Garasu because he's a crow, you see.
Yes. So he's like, "Can't have none of this," and he sends the birds after them, and Tetsuya's like, "Oh man, there's birds everywhere, what are we gonna do?" And Asmodai's like, "I don't know, they better not pop the blimp, because I don't know how to land this thing."
I don't know how to land this thing, but it could be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like, and Tetsuya's just like, "Why are you gonna be like that, man?"
We gotta be like that.
So, of course, the birds dive bomb and pop the blimp.
It looked like they killed themselves when they did it, too.
So the blimp topples over, and everyone gets slammed against the wall, and Gao goes, "Oh, what's this button?" Just pressing it no matter what it is, and it empties dresses on them!
And then the next one empties freaking skirts.
Yeah, and Zanya gets covered with them, and he's just like, "I can't handle this too much."
He looks like some kind of pervert.
He's just like,
he just robbed them.
So then Asmodai's like, "Well, if everyone's pressing buttons, boop," and it shoots out.
One of the blimp
It
parts.
shoots their only functional blimp out. So then they're just plummeting to their death, and Dual Seeker comes in.
Dual Seeker's here.
"Here I come to save the day."
Apparently, because Genma has a tendency to just kind of come over there every once in a while to beat up people.
Yeah, he trains in the mountains for fun. I just imagine him, like, freaking suplexing an elephant.
Probably could. He's as tall as Asmodai, as we see in the episode.
Yeah, so then, I love the line that Gao says, 8 out of 10, and we just added in, wouldn't ride again.
Yep, 8 out of 10, wouldn't fly again.
So then, they're walking through the forest, and Genma's like, "Yeah, this totally seems like the place Rouga would go up to, you know, seeing as this place kind of lives off the motto he kept on saying."
Yeah, he said it at least 3 times in both episodes he did something.
And Kiri even flashback to it. So yeah. So then they
And yet, the Bunny Police could not be bothered to check the place out.
This place
I know.
lives up to yeah.
I know. It's just funny. Because, seriously, it just seems like it would be the most logical thing. Oh yeah, there's also a fairy in here. And I guess she's from Legend World.
Yeah.
Just a little quick spoiler. Apparently we're going to see Legend World soon.
Yep. Next episode, actually.
Yes.
But back to the thing. They reach the wall where the students are there, and they're like, "Hey, can you tell us where our friend Kiri is?" And it's like, "Only if you buddy fight us." So they buddy fight them and pants them. And then Shosetsu, the paladin, appears. He's in full armor, with long flowing Bishonen hair. I already like him.
Big sword. Almost like it doesn't belong in this school that's looks like they're devoted to ninjas.
Yeah, ninjas and very oriental. He just sticks out like a sore thumb. It's really funny. So then they he's like, "Oh, I'll give you a tour since you already pants these guys." He's like, "Here's where we eat lunch, and here's where we have classes, and everyone fights each other, and the dudes you just fought already lost, so they had to take the first shift." And I'm like, why wouldn't you, if you already lost, why wouldn't you assign them to doing last shift so they have to stay up late? But whatever. So,
maybe they like staying up late because they're kids, you see.
Yeah, "I'm gonna stay up late and watch movies and eat popcorn, and no grown-up's gonna tell us what to do." But anyway, so then he takes them to the president in drag.
Yeah, he looks like the president
from
Ibo. From Ibo Academy, except for very, very girly.
Yeah, I know he's
And
wearing
pink.
traditional Lord outfit, but he has pink hair. Pinkish purple hair that is cut in a...
And lashes.
Yeah, and lashes. And he even talks in a girlier manner. But he talks it like uses the same accent the president uses, but with a more girly and flamboyant tone to it. It's really weird.
Pegasus in his early days.
Back when Pegasus dyed his hair.
Yeah, before his wife died.
Oh.
Anyway, continue.
Pegasus was always my favorite character. So then, they're like, yeah, I'm the president of the student council. He's in charge of the dorms. They're like, hey, that's the guy that attacked us. He's like, well, you were using an unauthorized blimp just to fly over our school. Didn't know if it was armed. And they're like,
Touche.
touche. So then, and they're like, and I'm in charge of the disciplinary committee. That would be Shosetsu, the paladin. I'm just gonna keep calling him that. So they're like, so we are the 4 demons of the school, and Tetsuya's like, there's only 3 of you. And
the guy's gonna make his appearance. Oswald says.
And he's a giant ribbiting frogman trying to eat Taco Suke.
He does the whole time.
So...
I didn't think he was human, honestly, when I first saw him in the thing. I thought he was just one of many buddies.
Yeah, so, he only speaks in ribbits, and his fairy has to speak for him. So
Which is a bitch, as you would expect. All fairies have to be.
Do you guys know Garzy's Wing? Do you remember the fairy from that? It's in this show.
You do remember Garza's Wing, I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, she's basically that.
Yeah, so then, of course, Baruko's freaking out because he's licking Takosuke, and she's just like, what are you doing? He's like, well, we're gonna eat this for breakfast, and she's like, no! So...
I guess she would have a problem with that, considering they might be lovers.
I would think so.
At least with how the ending made it look like.
Yeah. So then, they grab Takosuke, and they're like, hey, it's breakfast, and she's like, no, and they're like, well, we know Rouga's here, and they're like, who's Rouga? And she's like, don't you pull this shit!
Don't you pull that crap, but this guy's here.
Yeah, Takosuke's right here, and confirms that Rouga's here, because he followed him. Don't you try to pull this shit! You bet you were trying to eat him in order to hide your evidence. So then...
Doesn't matter, though, because he just kind of comes out and says, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Rouga's like, I
don't even know why they would bother. It's like they're making fun of Legion Maid's current plot.
We can't tell you because of reasons.
Because of reasons. Well, I'm here. What's up? And like, damn it.
Damn it, we were trying to be mysterious. Who do you think you are, Aichi?
Anyway, continue.
So then, they're like, Rouga, I demand that you tell us where Kiri is. And he's like, well, you're at this school, and you know what that means. You have to buddy fight for anything. And they're like, fine. He's like, well, let's make it interesting. We'll challenge all of them in a 5-way fight. And they're like, yeah, that sounds fun. And they're like, okay, let's do this. And so, it's tournament time. And already we're at a better tournament than the ABC Cup.
It just started. Already a better tournament because, you know what?
There's something at stake.
Yeah, it's actually something important to drive them.
I really think that they must have gotten new writers who knew how to do stuff. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. If it is the same writers, good job, guys. You're improving.
If not, well, if you had it coming.
So, yeah, so they decide to have Rouga go first because, of course, we need to show him being strong and mighty and stuff. And Tetsuya wants revenge on his giant floating banana.
Yeah, he got it. That's why they finally gave him his buddy skill. And it's a giant flying banana. You see it in the opening, but yeah. It really is just a giant freaking banana.
It makes me so happy.
What's that banana doing here?
So, we already kind of know who's gonna win because it's...
Well, don't worry. They don't make us have to wait till next week. They just show us.
Yeah, that they were merciful. It's like everyone knows who's gonna win.
We also get to see the appearance of... Go for it, M. Armonite Cerberus Ace.
Thank you. I
Turns
totally
out
forgot his name.
Yeah, so... I remember hearing something about people thinking that the A might have been...
Multiple forms.
Well, it might be, but it might not be now because it's just an ace.
Yep.
could just be his only form, for all we know.
His
least for now.
skill got recently announced, so for those of you who don't know, Arbor Knight Cerberus Ace is, I believe, a size 2 that is 636. You pay 1 gauge to call him. If you have 5 life or less, you can put him into the soul of your weapon, and he gives +2 to that weapon. And then, if you want to give an additional power, you can pay 3 gauge in order to give it +3. So if you have Drill Bunker, not Hysteric Spear, you can get Penetrate as well as having 8 crit. So, or 7 crit, I think. 7, thank you.
But it's fine, because they got a new weapon.
That gives 8 crit when you do that.
It's a 5/3.
Yeah, it's a 5/3.
Pay gauge they'll use. I don't think it had an extra skill from what I saw, but it didn't matter because he used Drill Bunker. I don't know what you're talking about. It just already has 8.
I worded things wrong.
3 goes up to 5 because of service. Pay the 3 gauge for an extra 3 goes up to 8. Drill Bunker gives it the 2/10.
Yeah.
Oh, and also they get a spell that negates spells, apparently, because Tetsuya used a shield to try to protect Belith, and he said no, and he didn't block.
Yeah, so, because Tetsuya's plan basically was to do a one-hit KO, because he had 2 of his impact in there. He was able to get enough gauge to use both of them, and he used Belith and a burn card in order to get him... Yep, so...
But the whole time, Rouga was using another card that basically every time he took damage, he gained a extra gauge for each damage he took.
Yep. So then Rouga used the strategy we just said, where he got 10 automatically and just killed Tetsuya.
Kill him one shot. The game was really trying hard to push its one-hit KOs.
Yeah.
Usually shows try to show those in a negative light. But no, this show is like, no, man, we're going to show them in the best light possible so everyone will want to build them. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Because this is actually a legit build. You could do this very feasibly, it seems.
I don't think you could do it super feasibly. You have to rely on your opponent almost killing you to do it.
Yeah.
At least well. Because, you know, the gauge for the weapon and the impact and Cerberus' effect. And he has a call cost of a gauge, right?
Yeah, he has a call cost. He has 1 gauge.
Yeah, so it's like you have all pay for all this stuff. You have to hope they hit you a bunch of times, or load up your deck with a bunch of the put stuff into gauge cards because they got 2 now.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably do something with it, but it has a problem with a lot of OTK decks have in this game.
It's you don't hit the OTK.
If you don't get the OTK, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do?
So yeah, and that's where the episode ends, with Tetsuya losing and Rouga beating his face in.
And doing the same thing where it's like, yeah, you were too weak, show me someone better. And then Gao's like, oh, that's it, it's personal now. Which means even when he wins, he's going to be sad that he won because he didn't win for the sake of fun. He won for the sake of avenging his friend like he did in episode 6. No, I hope he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm still bitter about that.
I think we're always going to be better about that.
Because that was a dumb character moment. He was upset because he freaking revenged his friend who got basically humiliated in front of the whole school. God forbid he wants to beat Rouga to get his honor back.
Yep. And then preview says that Froggy Man will be fighting next, and he uses Legend World. Yep, and we already saw a tree monster.
Tree monster and a fairy, so there you go. I guess, I don't know what the heck he's using. It sounds like it's like Danger World without all the armor stuff. Because you got Trent and a fairy. Yeah.
I, so far, am enjoying myself thoroughly. This was a very good episode. It was a lot of fun.
It was so good that you forgot about going into more detail about the ending.
Oh yeah, the ending!
Because it's a new ending, and it's actually good.
It is a very good ending. Paruko, it starts off with Paruko, little Paruko, riding on her bicycle.
Well, you don't know how little she was.
Okay.
Like, not all of them were. There's like, basically the ending showed them all getting their buddy, when they got their buddies.
Yeah.
And it starts off with Paruko, like, speeding down the highway on a bike.
And she gets a flyer for a UFO landing.
Yeah, because in the middle of the city there's a big-ass UFO. I think you know where that's going.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to different other characters who we've seen in the show getting their buddies for the first time.
Tetsuya without his nanas.
Yep, Tetsuya without bananas. And that's when I going up and say, hey, you're pretty cool at dancing. He doesn't actually say words, but he's like, gives him the thumbs up, and he's like all happy. Suzuha gets Marisu as a present.
From her not sheep butler.
I assume it's dad, since they have the
okay.
same hair color.
Good point.
I mean, it's like, I don't think I'm going that far off.
No, I think you're right. It is his dad, her dad. For some reason, I just immediately thought, different butler!
Because she just doesn't have parents. It's against the rules.
I know, stupid thought. But then it also shows Jin
finding Yamagitsune
at a shrine.
And apparently they're both young at the time, so they're just like kids running around. And you get the idea. And then Paruko gets closer to the UFO, and Takasuge lands out of the UFO, getting crowded by a bunch of people. And he breaks out of them and just starts running. And then runs past Paruko, who turns around and goes after him. And they both look at each other, and Takasuke has like a bunch of hearts like pop out of his head and jumps onto the bike, and they fly off like E.T. style.
Oh my god, I just realized they made an E.T. reference with that.
Yep. I'm actually very surprised that there was so much going on in that ending, instead of just, flying around in the air.
Look at our CG, guys!
Yeah, that was a good ending.
It was so cute. I love this ending. It is adorable, and I want to hug everyone.
So, yep, I guess that takes care of this episode of 25. Guess, I guess we got a couple of cards we could briefly bring up, since we got the whole list now.
Yeah.
Because Booster 3 is coming out next week.
I have the list if you want. Well, we probably don't have enough time for the list. I guess we can just do the basics.
I thought you remembered them. Like a person who looked them up would have done.
But yeah, basically all the wizards for Magic World are all Dragon Wizards. That's basically all we're getting. I don't think we're getting any 72 Pillar cards. If I looked at the list correctly, it didn't seem like there was any. It's all wizards, all the time. New Dragon Knights, they have a new archetype called Sisen Gumi, which goes along with that. There was a card that actually for every Sisen Gumi, I think I'm saying that wrong.
Probably are. I didn't see it, remember? You just told me this like before we started recording.
Basically for everyone on the field, it gives +1 crit, I think, to all of them. What else was there? The shield for Dungeon World is, pay 1 gauge. You can negate any attack, no matter if it's a link attack, or if your center's full, it just negates an attack, and you gain 1 life. Which is pretty cool. Generic size 1 monster! Wait, no, size 0 monster. Generic size 0 monster. That makes me excited.
You said 3/1/3 pay gauge?
Yep, 3/1/3 pay gauge.
Well, I guess that's just kind of just good for everybody.
Yeah, especially if you're Ancient World. Run this guy.
I'm just happy that we're still at least getting a card, maybe 2, that are generic but are useful.
There was a couple ones. Actually, Generic World is setting up to be if you want to really wreck someone's face and make them salty, try running this deck. Since they had a bunch of cards where it was, their gauge cost was enormous, but if you had 2 or more tarot cards on the field, it negated its cost.
They're not going to get me to play a tarot card deck.
They might get me, depending on how many we pull. Because I really like tarot cards. Either way. What else was there? Trying to remember. Basically, all the rarities were revealed. You can probably go to the wiki by now and look at all of the Booster 3 stuff that came out, because they have all the cards there. So, yeah, it's really nice. I really wish they'd announce what some of the trial deck guys do, though.
We only got a week. I think it's fine.
Yeah. It's just I want to know what my Meshiba does! He's a Mameshiba! For those of you who don't know, they're those little beandog infomercials.
Is he actually Mameshiba, though? That's the question. Yeah. Like, did we see a picture yet?
No.
Because he might not be, and I might be his name.
Just a name list. I just really hope it's a beandog of some sort.
I have the most passive-aggressive flavor text. I can already feel it.
Did you know that a kangaroo's milk is red?
Well, with that, I guess we'll say we're done here. Yeah, we're getting really close to the release of those sets, and I just really want to see them. I want to start making new things. I want to make my dungeon stuff. Dungeon World's so cool.
I am really excited for Dungeon World as well.
We may or may not have a Vanguard episode, depending if we feel like it.
Recap of the most recent episode. Kai got Kaiguro. The end.
Yep. Kai said, got pushed in the water a couple times. He was told to get over it. He did. The end. That's it. So, till next time, everybody...
Keep buddy fighting.
Keep on buddy fighting. Woo!